Hi everyone, you are about to write your second essay for this class, so I'm going to go over this prep packet for you so that you know what's coming up. First of all, you'll notice that on this first page we have task 1, which is prompt analysis. Then you'll be moving on to planning out your essay, and then you'll come up with synonyms just like you did for the last essay, in this case for conflict. You also will come up with some quotes for your grabbers, and then there's an essay template that's down below for you. And when you go all the way down past the template, you'll also see some additional resources, like if you need help writing your main claim, there's some samples there. If you need help with your subclaims, there's some samples there. And then there's an actual sample essay all the way at the bottom. We will probably do some work to notice how the sample essay actually fits the prompt when we are in class. So let's start with, go all the way back up to the prompt itself. So over the next week, you will prepare to write your second essay. You will have time in class to work, yet most of your writing will take place at home. This time around, I will provide you help in class and during office hours, but I will not be reading each step of the process. You will write an essay on your own using the tools in this packet. If you need additional help, seek out other support opportunities. You can reach out to Cougar Excel, Cave, etc. This packet will prepare you for the final essay. In this case, our essay is due on Monday, May 3rd. So let's start with our prompt analysis. The first, task 1, is to read the prompt, identify the action words, and complete the do what chart down below. Remember, it's asking what are you being asked to do. Here's the prompt. In every novel, there exists conflict. The types of conflict are person versus person, person versus nature, person versus society, person versus self, person versus technology, and person versus supernatural. Conflict adds interest to a story and also helps a reader learn some life lessons. Here's the prompt. From your novel, choose 2 different types of conflict that one or more of your characters is faced with. Provide supporting evidence for each type of conflict. Explain the conflict in detail, including which type of conflict the situation represents. Then describe what life lesson the reader learns as a result of the character's struggle. So let's go back and identify what you are being asked to do. And in order to do that, we have to identify what action words are actually in the prompt. So if we go through, from your novel, choose is the first action word. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put that under do. And then after that, it says what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to choose 2 different types of conflict that one or more of your characters is faced with. So I'm going to copy that and put that under the what. What are we being asked to do? Choose 2 different types of conflict that the characters are faced with. Then the next one is provide supporting evidence for each type of conflict. So there's our do word, our action word, provide. And what are we supposed to provide? Supporting evidence for each type of conflict. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it into the do what chart. Next, it says explain the conflict in detail, including which type of conflict the situation represents. So our next action word or verb is explain. And this is what we're supposed to explain. I'm going to put that under the what section. And then the last one says, then describe what life lesson the reader learns as a result of the character's struggle. So I'm going to copy and paste describe, and this is what we are supposed to write about. So when you look at the do what chart, you can determine which parts of these actually will be in your essay as evidence and which parts will be the parts that are going to be your analysis. And if you look at it, just looking at the words, choose, provide, explain, describe, I like to start with the words that seem to be analysis. Can you guess which 2 they are? If you are thinking that it is explain and describe, then you are correct. Really, the explain will probably most likely be your A1, and your describe will often be your A2. And if you're supposed to provide supporting evidence, the key word there is evidence, so these are going to be your evidence sentences. For choose 2 different types of conflict that one or more of your characters are faced with, this is going to lead into the structure of your essay. If you look above, it says all students need to write a 4-paragraph argumentative essay. Your essay will have an introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. So there's a couple of different ways for you to actually decide what you're going to write about. Some people are going to write body paragraph number 1 on one kind of conflict and body paragraph number 2 on a second kind of conflict. Another way you can do it is you could do character 1 in the first body paragraph and character 2 in the second body paragraph, but maybe both of the characters experience similar types of conflict. And you'll see that in the sample essay. So the choose is more about how you're going to organize the essay. And then the other two parts are about the structure: evidence, analysis, analysis. Now, if you were to scroll all the way down to the template, you'll see that I've actually put those words in there: provide, explain, describe. So provide supporting evidence of the type of conflict that this paragraph is about. Explain the conflict in detail, including which type of conflict the situation represents, and describe what life lesson the reader learns as a result of the character's struggle. So when you get to the part where you're actually writing your, you get to task 5 and you're writing your essay using this template, I've actually included instructions here on the left-hand side for exactly what you're supposed to do here on the right-hand side. And the same thing with down in both of your body paragraphs and your conclusion. So once you decide to sit down and write, just follow the steps step by step. I also included in there a couple of things to help you. So for example, if you need help writing your main claim, when you're writing your main claim, you'll click here and it will actually take you to a bookmark that will take you to a page that has some sample main claims. Or if you click here for your subclaim, if you need some help, go to this bookmark. It will take you to some additional resources in this document that will help you. So once you fill out this do what chart, you're going to then move on to planning out your essay. You have some decisions to make. So you're going to plan out your essay, deciding which types of conflict and which evidence you plan to use. The good news is you've already begun your brainstorm for this essay by completing this document, LC, which is Literature Circles, Identifying Conflict Parts 2 and 3. Make sure you have those worksheets in front of you to help guide you in planning and writing this essay. So you'll fill in the following planning information: the title of the novel, your protagonist's name. If you're going to do more than one character, put both of their names. And then tell me what type of conflict your body paragraph number 1 will be about and what your body paragraph 2 will be about. And then just type out a simple description of the conflict examples that you will choose. They may come from this identifying conflict homework assignment that you've already completed. I would use that as a starting point for sure. Now, the reason I want you to fill out this task 2 plan right away is that this helps you and I to have a conversation with one another if you are struggling with where to go with your essay. And if you have a clear plan in mind, then you'll be able to move to the next step. Task 3 is pretty simple. You're just going to look up synonyms for the word conflict and you'll list them in the chart below. I'd like you to find at least 10 synonyms that you could use when you're writing your essay. So I put it in columns so you don't have to have a really long list. You can just have 3, 3, and 4 there. For task number 4, just like you did with the last essay, I'd like you to look up some grabbers that you might use for your essay. So you'll search Google for at least 3 quotes about conflict. Make sure you concentrate on finding quotes that might relate to the conflicts that your protagonist faces so that they relate to your essay. So what I would suggest is actually go back to this planning document and try to find quotes about conflict that relate to some of the examples that you indicated you are going to use in your task 2. And I put an example because in each quote you need to include who said it and a little background information about who they are. As you know, we're going to use that background information when we do our introduction and we include the grabber. So my example quote is, "At the heart of every story is conflict, whether external or internal. Make it a good one, and remember that this problem is going to shape your character, leaving it forever changed." And then the person who wrote it, she's a novelist and a poet named Jennifer McMahon. So you'll put that there. And then if you keep scrolling, you'll have the essay template, and you can go ahead and begin writing your essay for task 5. That will be the most important time that you spend. Your goal would be to complete tasks 1 through 4 all in one day. So probably would take you maybe an hour to do that work. And then you'll be ready to go ahead and dive in and work on writing your essay. If you have any questions along the way, please let me know, and happy writing. I'm sure you're going to do very well.